fourth murder this year. Roads were closed for the investigation, but everything in the area has since been reopened. Anyone with information about that shooting is asked to contact Ottawa Police or Crime Stoppers. Inflation in Canada is showing signs of cooling, but not everywhere. City News business editor Chris McCusker has more.
The annual inflation rate slowed to 5.9% in January. That was down from 6.3% in December and better than the 6.1% expected. But grocery prices are going in the wrong direction, up by 11.4% last month compared to a year ago, higher than the 11% gain we saw in December, with prices for meat, baked goods, and vegetables providing the biggest gains. Now, last month, the Bank of Canada hiked its key interest rate for an 8th consecutive time since March of last year, bringing it to 4.5%, the highest since 2007. The bank said at the time it would take a conditional pause to assess the effects of the higher interest rates on the economy, with the next announcement set for March the 8th. At the Business Center, I'm Chris McCusker.
It was only one word, but it sure has a lot of people talking. They're still commenting on a change to the lyrics of "Oh Canada" at the NBA All-Star Game. City News reporter Dimrick Stigler has the story.
Now, if you didn't hear it on the weekend, here's what Black did to the anthem. Marie Huey has done tons of Vancouver Canucks games and admits it caught her by surprise, too.
I felt like it was something that just totally made sense, and I hadn't thought about that lyric change before, seeing her sing it. I've never done it, and I've never heard anybody else make that change during the performance. So for me, it was a positive surprise.
But don't look for Huey to go with this tweaked version. Compared to Julie Black's situation, she says she's paid by the Canucks organization, and she'd need to get the okay for the folks who write her checks before she'd be willing to make a change ahead of any game at Rogers Arena. Dean Sealer, City News.
City News traffic and weather together in 1 minute, and Don Lemon returns to the anchor seat on Wednesday morning after major backlash. City News time, 3:10.
For the latest in local news for Ottawa and the Valley,
listen online at ottawa.citynews.ca
or download the Radio Player Canada app.
This news segment brought to you by Alterna Wealth Management. I'm Peter Fraser with Credential Q-Trade Securities and Alterna Wealth Management. Happy New Year! What are the prospects for 2023? Global conflicts, climate change, the economy can all impact your financial security, your estate planning, and your investments. This year, why not make your financial plan an important part of In With the New? Grow your investments and secure your retirement and estate. Reach me today at moneymondays@alterna.ca.
Ottawa's housing situation is bleak. There is a severe shortage of affordable and supportive housing options. The city declared a housing and homelessness emergency back in 2020. Status quo is just not good enough. The only way through this is together. Ottawa Salas has been providing supportive housing for people in the community who are living with serious mental illness for more than 45 years. With your support today, we can improve lives one by one. Visit www.salasottawa.org to pledge your support.
City News time, 3:11. City News traffic and weather together.
Good afternoon. We've got a collision in Gatineau on Maloney and Pellicer. We've got delays westbound on the Queensway from Vanier to Bronson, and then again from Maitland to Pinecrest. Eastbound right now on the Queensway from Pinecrest to Carling. We have eastbound delays on the 174 from the Split to Blair. Westbound delays on the 174 from Plaster Orleans to Jean d'Arc. That's due to construction that should be wrapping up. Northbound Island Park busy approaching the Sir John A. Macdonald Parkway. We have eastbound delays on Hunt Club at Prince of Wales. Westbound delays on Hunt Club at Riverside. And we have southbound Riverside delays from Bank Street to Heron. MNP can help stop the cycle of debt and get the financial fresh start you need. For a free consultation, call 310-DEBT or visit mnpdebt.ca. With forecast for Ottawa and the Valley, here's weather specialist Denise Andriacci.
Scattered flurries and periods of light snow for Ottawa and Smiths Falls this afternoon. A guaranteed high of -5. We are down to near -10 overnight tonight. Now, we do have active weather in the forecast for Wednesday, Thursday, colder temperatures as well. Wednesday night, overnight through Thursday, we are going to have some snow about 10 centimeters Wednesday night, an additional 5 to 10 plus centimeters for Thursday. The guaranteed high today, -5.
And right now in Ottawa, that burst of snow seems to be done. At least for now, it is a -10, feeling like -16 in the wind. In Smiths Falls, a special weather statement is now in effect, and it is -6 and feels like -11.
Traffic for Sportsnet. Discover hockey in a fantastical new way. Sportsnet presents Hockeyland, an adventure game in Minecraft. Download it at sportsnet.ca/hockeyland.
If you see news in the making, remember to call the City News tip line. It is 613-736-2020. City News time, 3:13. And now the City News gas price update. Entro predicts the price of gas will hold at midnight, remaining the same at an average of $1.43.9 a litre at most Ottawa gas stations. And now the City News market update. Business Center, here's Ari Rabinovich.
The sell-off continues for major markets, but especially on Wall Street, with now markets at the lows for the day. The Nasdaq down 2.25%, the S&P 500 off by 2%, 83 points. The Dow Jones has fallen 660 points. Some of the poorest performing stocks include shares in Tesla, down by more than 4%. Ford Motor also down by more than 5%. Shares in Roku down 9%, and Crocs actually down close to 9% as well. Just a few of the many stocks seeing losses on Wall Street right now. Bay Street also in the red by 240 points at 20,276. We have declines for commodities as well, with gold futures off by nearly $8, 1,842 the ounce. Oil slightly lower at $76 US per barrel, and the Canadian dollar has dropped nearly half a cent at 73.86 cents US. At the City News Business Center, I'm Ari Rabinovich.
The City News Ottawa.
City News time, 3:14.
Hi, I'm Brian Berlot, CEO at Maxis Staffing and Recruitment. Are you currently seeking temporary or permanent employment? Maxis can assist you in landing the perfect position today. Profession, IT, administration, call center, assemble your trades, get the job you want. Visit maxis.ca, maxsys.ca.
Maxis has helped over 100,000 people get jobs. Let them help you. Get started today. Visit maxis.ca.
The City News Ottawa Market Minute is brought to you by Dynamic Funds.
How can you minimize inflation risk? Step 1. Talk to a financial advisor. See why advice matters, now more than ever. Visit dynamic.ca/advice to learn more.
Get a fresh start today at TSC with amazing savings on top brands and products. Save up to 20% on exciting home favorites, including air purifiers and bedding from brands you love, like Home Suite and Air Innovations. Turn big purchases into small payments with interest-free easy pay on everything you need to live happy and healthy. Shop now at tsc.ca. Today's shopping choice.
Number one for local news in Ottawa and the Valley. This is City News on 101.1 FM and 1310 AM.
It is -10, feels like -16 in the wind in Ottawa, and the storm has taken off, at least for now. A special weather statement is in effect in Smiths Falls. It is -6, feeling like -11. Good afternoon, I am Daniela Olina, and here's what's making news right now. Winterlude has ended without any skating on the canal, and now 4 Rivertail stores are going down. More on that at the top of the hour with City News reporter Victoria Bennett. City News time, verse 16.
Following the family day loss to the Boston Bruins, the Ottawa Senators are handed the entire day off. They'll be back on the practice ice tomorrow in Canada. The Sens' next game is Friday in Carolina, and it sounds like goaltender Cam Talbot will return to make the start. He's been out since late January with a lower body injury, but according to reports, will be activated today. Now, you can watch a couple of hockey games on Sportsnet tonight. Detroit, Washington begins at 7. Vegas, Chicago, 8 o'clock on Sportsnet 1. Elsewhere, the Leafs are in Buffalo. Edmonton takes on Philadelphia. Montreal in New Jersey. And Vancouver plays Nashville. The Blue Jays held their first full team workout today, and manager John Schneider shared what his opening message was.
The main messages were kind of, look around the room and look at what, we've assembled here, and it's time to take the next step from a really talented team to a team that's going to be really tough to beat every single night. And what does that entail? That entails running the bases correctly, taking care of the baseball, putting together good at-bats.
The Jays will take on the Pirates Saturday in their first spring game. And happening now in the Champions League round of 16, things have kicked off from Anfield. It is no score in the first half between Liverpool and Real Madrid. Elsewhere, 0-0 between Eintracht Frankfurt and Napoli. From the Sports Center, I'm Alex Sixera.
Come feel the New Orleans heat at Meridian Theaters at Center Point with Mardi Gras Mambo featuring Dirty Dozen Brass Band and Nathan and the Zydeco Cha-Chas. The Dirty Dozen Brass Band will have you moving. And Nathan and the Zydeco Cha-Chas will get you grooving. It's so good to be here. Come dancing. Come party. New Orleans style. Friday. Tickets meridiancenterpoint.com.
A message from the War Amps. When you use the War Amps key tag, you protect your keys. If you lose your keys, the finder can call the number on the back of the tag or drop them in any mailbox. And the War Amps will return your keys to you for free. Order your key tags today at waramps.ca and make a difference in the lives of amputees like me. Thank you.
You're with City News. I'm Scott Burnett. Stateside, the Biden administration has announced new steps to hold rail companies more accountable in the wake of the fiery derailment in Ohio that forced evacuations when toxic chemicals were released and burned.
It's not clear whether new regulations would make communities safer, but Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg says he is a strong supporter of additional rules, including increased inspections on routes that freight trains use to transport toxic chemicals. He says rail companies need to be held accountable.
They fight safety regulations tooth and nail. That's got to change. The future cannot be like the past.
Congress has passed a statute that caps fines for rail companies at just $250,000. Buttigieg says that needs to change. Norfolk and Southern reported nearly $5 billion in income last year. Kieran Preston, ABC News.
Ukraine is appealing to Canada for rail parts and expertise as it tries to keep its embattled train system running. That rail system is vital to the country's war effort, with millions of people using it to escape occupied areas, as well as transport injured soldiers and civilians to hospitals in safer parts of the country. The CEO of Ukrainian Railways passenger company says more than 300 rail workers have been killed since the start of the Russian invasion almost 1 year ago. Stateside, the Mormon Church in the U.S. has agreed to pay $5 million to settle charges related to its investments.
In recent years, the Securities and Exchange Commission said the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints became concerned about the size of its investment portfolio, and it grew to $32 billion. The SEC said the Mormon Church was concerned about negative consequences for its image. The church then consented to the creation of more than a dozen shell companies to conceal its investments. That, the SEC said, deprived the investing public of accurate market information. The church and its investment manager, Ensign Peak Advisors, agreed to pay a combined $5 million to settle the charges. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
A check of traffic and weather together next.
Okay, Steven, you ready to dream bigger? Ready, Max. You see your usual dream. Now you see how big it could be with Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot of an estimated $40 million. When I count to 3, you will awaken and share your maxified dream. 1, 2, 3. A deep sea exploration sub to swim with my favorite exotic fish. Oh, mesmerizing. This Tuesday's Lotto Max jackpot is an estimated $40 million. Why dream to the min when you can dream to the max?
The news cycle these days can be too much.
Cases are up more than 25%, backing up indoors once again to LGBTQ plus many states.
Let us help with that. I'm Jordan Heath Rawlings, host of The Big Story, Canada's most interesting daily news podcast. Every day, we stop that cycle in its tracks and examine one big story, something that matters to Canadians in depth. You can find The Big Story every morning for free at Frequency Podcast Network or wherever you get your podcasts.
City News traffic and weather together on the ones.
Good afternoon. That collision that we had in Gatineau and Maloney and Belisar is now clear. We're just dealing with some volume delays, pretty heavy right now due to weather. Westbound on the Queensway from Vanier to Bronson, and then again from Maitland to Pinecrest. Seeing some delays eastbound on the Queensway from Pinecrest to Carling. Eastbound on the 174 from the Split to Blair. Seeing some delays still westbound on the 174 from Place Orleans to Jeanne d'Arc. Northbound Island Park busy right now, approaching the Sir John A. Macdonald Parkway. Seeing some delays southbound Riverside from Bank to Heron. Eastbound Hunt Club pretty busy right now at Prince of Wales. And also westbound Hunt Club at Riverside. Own winter with legendary standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. For uncommon winter capability, visit your Subaru dealer. With the forecast for Ottawa and the Valley, here's weather specialist Denise Andriachi.
Light snow and scattered flurries, 2 to 4 centimeters for Ottawa and Smiths Falls. But this is still the calm before the storm because the main event is Wednesday night through Thursday. That's when we have heavier snow falling all across southern and central Ontario. We're going to see about 10 to 20 centimeters Wednesday, Thursday for Ottawa and Smiths Falls, and much colder temperatures behind this area of low pressure. So you can expect below seasonal conditions for Friday, lows near minus 20. The guaranteed high today, minus 5.
We've got the best news. Ottawa and the Valley. Welcome to City News. Everywhere.
Now available weekends and overnights.
Local, national, international. You never have to miss a thing. We're bringing you news from coast to coast to coast.
Weeknights starting at 10 and all weekend long.
When news breaks, you'll hear about it here. City News. Everywhere. Now, weekends and overnights on City News.
101.1 FM.
At 1310 AM.
Most Canadians don't know their number, the amount of money they need to walk away, to retire, and stay retired for the rest of their lives. If you don't know your number and it is causing stress, reach out to Rideau Wealth Group. They are part of the Ottawa office of Scotia Wealth Management. They can help you get on track to secure the lifestyle you want to live. Start by finding your number today. Visit them at findyournumber.ca.
Rideau Wealth Group, Scotia McLeod, a division of Scotia Capital Inc.
Now, City News has even more to talk about.
Grab a seat for an extra hour of the Sam LaPrade Show. Weekdays 10 to 1.
You'll hear some compelling conversation, some fun and information,
And the stories that matter to you.
from hard-hitting to heartwarming. Sam will share her view of what's happening in Ottawa and the Valley.
Listen in to the Sam LaPrade Show.
Weekdays at 10 on City News.
101.1 FM and citynews.ca.
This is City News. Censoring works of art and literature in the name of inclusivity. It's not religious groups or angry parents behind new changes to books by acclaimed British author Roald Dahl, but the Roald Dahl Story Company itself. The Star reports that the latest editions of his works have been altered to make the stories more inclusive and less offensive for today's audience. The Oompa Loompas that appear in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, for example, once referred to as small men, are now small people, while Miss Trunchbull in Matilda has been described as a most formidable female. She's now considered a most formidable woman. The words fat, crazy, and mad have also been replaced from all of Dahl's books. A spokesperson for the company tells the Star the changes were small and carefully considered, adding that the goal was to ensure that they continue to be enjoyed by all children today while keeping the narratives intact. Reaction has been mixed, with figures like author Salman Rushdie and British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak equating it to unnecessary censorship, while others believe the changes haven't affected the intent of the stories. The weeks-long party in New Orleans will reach fever pitch today. It's Mardi Gras, aka Fat Tuesday, the climax of the city's carnival season. This year's festivities are being shadowed by some political intrigue as well. Some revelers are gathering signatures in the hopes of triggering a recall election for the city's mayor. There's also concerns about the rise in violent crime in the city. One person was killed, 4 others wounded when gunfire broke out during a Sunday night parade. CNN This Morning anchor Don Lemon will be back on the air Wednesday. He's been absent since last Thursday when he made comments on air about Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley's age, which were widely condemned as sexist. In an email sent to employees yesterday, the network's chief executive said Lemon has agreed to participate in formal training, details of which are still unknown. This is City News. I'm Scott Burnett.
At the City News Business Center, I'm Ari Urbanovich. On our side of the border, core inflation continues to trend lower. Statistics Canada reported the Consumer Price Index for the month of January, and year over year, the reading came in at 5.9%. That's down from 6.3% in December, and it was slightly better than what analysts were predicting. This is all but certainly justifying a rate hike pause by the Bank of Canada, which they suggested would be implemented pending positive results from these inflation reports. We'll get to see what they decide on March 8th. When we look a little closer at the report, food inflation rose overall to 10.4% year over year. That's up from 10.1% in December, with grocery prices specifically rising 11.4%. The CEOs of Loblaw and Sobeys have also agreed to attend a House of Commons hearing on food prices. The loonie has dropped almost half a cent ever since at 73.86 cents US. Bay Street is well into the red with a decline of almost 250 points at 20,269. Shares in Canadian lithium mining company Sigma Lithium are minimizing the losses, with that stock up by more than 19% on Bay Street. The company is reportedly being considered for an acquisition by Tesla, as the electric vehicle maker is searching for its own access to lithium, a key component in making the required batteries. Sigma is one of the few options Tesla has been exploring for a possible takeover, but shares in Tesla right now are one of the biggest weights on Wall Street, down 4.5%. And we have interest rate concerns weighing on the minds of investors south of the border especially, plus some dim outlooks for sales from some big retailers. The Dow Jones has dropped almost 670 points, the S&P 500 down close to 2%, the Nasdaq the poorest performer and pushing its low even lower, down 280 points. At the City News Business Center, I'm R.E. Rabinovich.
Starting back at zero. That ain't gonna happen. Wednesday, February 22nd on FX and City TV Plus. It's not so hard to build an empire. You need to know exactly who we dealing with. You don't want to do this. Wrong answer. It's not easy. Not knowing who you can trust. England is going to war. Whatever happens next, it ends here. Snowfall, the final season. Wednesday, February 22nd on FX or City TV Plus. Available with Prime Video channels. Online betting is booming. Booyah! You could win big.
But you could also lose, and that's a reality nobody's shouting about. Learn about online gambling risks and save for play at knowtherisks.ca. A message from the Responsible Gambling Council.
And now taking a look at your business travelers forecast. In Montreal, sun and cloud, -5. In the provincial capital, light snow, -1. Over to Calgary, scattered clouds, -22. In Edmonton, mainly cloudy, -24. While in Winnipeg, it is -23. Now, if you're going over to the U.S., in Washington, cloudy with showers, 11 degrees. In New York, light rain, and 5. Mark Day is our news and program director at the Twin Towns. It is 3:30 p.m.
Number one for local news, traffic, and weather for Ottawa and the Valley. This is All News Afternoons on City News 1011. Everywhere.
Good afternoon. It is Tuesday, February 21. I am Damilola Onine. Right now in Ottawa, -9, feels like -15 in the wind. In Smiths Falls, the special weather statement is in effect. It is -6, feels like -11. And here's what's making news right now.
Fixing potholes, a full-time responsibility for the city of Ottawa's freeze-thaw cycles this winter have made the roads a bit bumpier than usual.
Co-founder of Beaverdales Inc. says they're taking down the 4 kiosks set up on the Rideau Canal and are facing financial losses due to the canal's closure.
A very public one-word change to O Canada over the weekend got the attention of a lot of people, including one of the Vancouver Canucks main anthem singers. But will she make the change herself?
Well, the Ottawa Senators will have one of their goaltenders back in the lineup this weekend, and we will update the latest from the Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Sports at 45. Sharp declines on some dim outlooks by big retailers and uncertainty about interest rates in the U.S., but in Canada, inflation is on the right track. Business at 56.
City News Time 3:31. Here's City News traffic and weather together on the ones.
Good afternoon. We've got a snowy commute on our hands, so make sure you're driving for the conditions. We've got westbound delays on the Queensway from Vanier to Bronson, and then again from Maitland to Pinecrest. Eastbound right now on the Queensway from Maitland to Rochester. We have eastbound delays on the 174 from the split to Jeanne d'Arc. On the 174 westbound, we've got delays from Class-4 lanes to Jeanne d'Arc. That's due to construction that should be wrapping up. We've got delays northbound Island Park from Scott Street to the Sir John A. Macdonald Parkway. Eastbound delays on Hunt Club at Prince of Wales. Still seeing some southbound delays on Riverside from Bank to Heron. Own winter with legendary standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. For uncommon winter capability, visit your Subaru dealer. With the forecast for Ottawa and the Valley, here's weather specialist Denise Andriacci.
Unsettled at times this afternoon. Some light snow and scattered flurries. Overnight tonight down to -10. Mostly cloudy Wednesday through the day with some Wednesday night snow in the forecast. 10 centimeters. That lasts through Thursday, an additional 5 to 10 expected. And then cold temperatures for Friday. Some sunny breaks, chance of flurries. Highs only near -10 down to -20 Friday night. The guaranteed high today, -5.
Right now in Ottawa, -10 with very light snow. In Smiths Falls, -6, and there's a special weather statement in effect.
Traffic for Subaru. Own winter with legendary standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive. For uncommon award-winning safety, visit your Subaru dealer.
City News Time, 3:33. City crews are operating day and night to fix the streets from the dreaded pothole season. City News reporter Chris Curries has that story.
Have you hit the bumps yet? I have, a lot. So I wondered if city crews can fix potholes during the winters. They can, but why do they happen?
What we're seeing now is the conditions that we've had, where we've had warm days, cold nights. That's when we start getting into the process where we see more and more potholes during those freeze-thaw cycles start coming in.
Area Manager of Roads and Services, Brian Dengus, tells me it's typically more challenging during the winter to fix potholes because they have to clear all the moisture, and the material tends to be a bit more temporary than if it was done in the summer. But if it isn't a weather event happening, the city crews will be fixing potholes 24 hours a day. Chris Curry, City News.
This afternoon's intense snow has moved out and the winter weather travel advisory has ended. But another blast of winter is in store for parts of the Ottawa Valley tomorrow night. City News weather specialist Denise Andriachi says that a second blast of snow could get intense at times tomorrow night into Thursday morning.
We also have special weather statements in place Wednesday night into Thursday. Snow at times heavy. We also have the risk of some blowing and drifting snow. So this is going to be system snow that impacts us Wednesday night and Thursday.
And there's still uncertainty around the exact track of tomorrow's night's storm, as well as the timing and snowfall amount. And the National Capital Commission says the skateway will remain closed until at least the end of the week. A lot of folks heard the recent cold weather would help, but the NCC says the ice is still too thin and coarse, and that it's not safe for maintenance vehicles. NCC skateway staff are closely monitoring the ice conditions and will reassess the situation at the end of the week. And this marks the first winter loop. The Rideau Canal Skateway could not open due to weather. And the co-founder of Beaver Tails Incorporation says they are taking down the 4 stalls set up for this year's skating season. City News reporter Andrea Bennett has that story.
From frigid weather to record warm temperatures, Winterlude's key attraction, the Rideau Canal Skateway, didn't open during this year's Winterlude in the capital. Grant Hooker, co-founder of Beaver Tails Inc., says they took a financial hit due to the canal's closure, costing around $50,000 for installation and more, with no return from sales on the skateway.
Well, in the early years, and this is our 42nd year being ready to open, but in those early years we realized how vulnerable we were to Mother Nature, and so we diversified our business.
Hooker tells City News he started the business with his wife in February 1981 in a shack without electricity on Dowles Lake. He adds, 42 years later, they run a franchise with 200 stores across Canada and internationally, including the U.S. and Dubai, and adds a new Beaver Tails store will soon be opening in Mississauga. Andrea Bennett, City News.
Welcome to the provincial capital, where sparks are flying at Queen's Park as MPPs return to the legislature with the first question period since December. The Ford government was grilled on several topics, including the Premier's relationship with developers and the state of healthcare. New Democrats MPP for Sudbury, Jamie West, asked the health minister if she or Premier Doug Ford plan to speak with the public healthcare workers and supporters planning a protest on Thursday, calling for better wages and better care.
Whether it's an investment in pediatric beds at CHEO, whether it is an increase in hospital bills, 50 different hospital bills in the province of Ontario, whether they are new hospitals, expanded hospitals, or renovations. Unprecedented the amount of money that we are making sure that the people of Ontario get the health care they need in their community in a timely way.
The government is expected to introduce legislation that would allow private clinics to perform more surgeries to deal with backlog.